and I'm putting on pressure medicine, and I need you to take that pressure medicine every single day. I was so confused. At one point, I was like, am I beating him too much? Is it becoming too hard because of beating? Because this child will test your patience and test your limits. And when you say no, he wants to know, why are you saying no? A few days back, and I think you saw that, I let him play in the rain. And that, I put it up on my WhatsApp status, and it elicited different reactions. Because there are people who believe that he'll get malaria.
Welcome back to the Mamatoto Lounge. We are at Prineas Hotel, Kisumu. We are very comfortable and we like it here. Anytime you are in Kisumu, please visit. Our today's guests on pregnancy, birth and beyond, or unfiltered, is a very special mama who has done a very good job raising 2 generations at a go. What do I mean? How would it feel to raise an adult and a toddler under the same roof all by yourself? Today, we welcome Esther. Glad to be here, and thank you so much for honoring our day today. Please tell us, who is Esther?
Thank you. Glad to be here as well. My name is Esther Tuju. Living and working in Kisumu. I do interior design and landscaping. And as you have said, I am a mother to 2 boys, amazing children. One is 27 years old and one is 5 years old.
Thank you. At least now we know where to even find you. So tell us, Esther, how has it been right from, let us start with the 27-year-old handsome boy.
I usually say I'm very lucky because that is one child who did not give me problems. He when I look at the classic teenager, the stages they're going through, what my friends are going through, this is one child who did not, I usually say I don't even remember any one time when he threw a tantrum. He never had tantrums. He didn't have, I think there's only once when he was expelled in school, but I feel like it was, misunderstanding between him and the teachers, though I have never told him that. It will probably be the first time he hears his mom accepting that sometimes schools get rough on children.
Yeah.
But this is one child who never threw tantrums. He never gave me attitude. He was a very mute child. Very bright, very diligent, very like a pleasing. He would he did what he felt was the right thing.
Wow.
Almost all the time, yeah.
Beautiful.
So bringing him up was pretty easy, but it was also a teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
I finished school pregnant. So this is the children that you're told is brought up by the community.
Yes.
So I have my siblings bringing him up. I have my parents bringing him up. I have friends who have finished school with me and they're also bringing him up. So he was literally brought up by the community,
yes,
which made it very easy because anytime you're about to fall into something, you're about to get into trouble, this is a child that's being brought up by everybody. So there's trouble with the school, I'm going to step in and help. There's trouble with this, I'm going to step in and help. And talking about stepping in and helping, even throughout his childhood, the first time this child was ever admitted was, like sick and admitted was 2 years ago. He went through the childhood healthy and
wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy upbringing.
That was.
Yeah.
And you had the whole community around you,
yes,
and you grew up together.
Yes.
So he didn't typically give you like a textbook of reference. So right now when you're bringing up the second born,
yeah,
you don't have a textbook.
There's no that one has come unhinged.
All right.
Yeah.
And so how was the relationship, the two of you? And what is his beautiful name?
The
The
older
27 one?
The older one is Ochi.
Ochi.
The
Okay.
younger one is Sekani.
All right.
Yeah.
So how is your relationship with Ochi back then, growing up together and up to date?
Ochi is more of a friend. He's more of a friend, and sometimes I feel like he would confide more in my mom than in me. I don't know if it's the age difference. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm mommy, but he is more of a friend. You'll find us sitting and talking friend to friend more than mom to son. And anytime I try to bring a mom-son conversation, it's blown out of proportion. We can't see eye to eye. Yeah. So maybe growing up with him, I would say I was still a mom figure, but a teenage pregnancy is not that easy.
True.
Because you're still growing up.
Yes.
You're in your 20s, you're 23 and you have a 4-year-old. You still a 23-year-old is still a child.
It is true.
So you're still growing up. And children are very observant. They will know.
Yes.
A child will know when you're fumbling, your child will know. They'll know. Yeah.
When I talk to grandma, there's authority.
And this one. And then on top of that, there's still grandma's authority above yours.
Yes.
Right? So there's an authority above yours, and children see. So it's not, it's the relationship is we have an amazing relationship. And for the better part, he still listens to me, which makes it easier.
Yes.
Especially right now, when you want to guide him, he will look to me for counsel. Of course, now he's grown up and he knows that I am older, so I am wiser. So he will still look to me for counsel.
Yes.
But I think if you would allow me to say, when I compare my relationship with other teenagers or children that age with their parents, I think we have a beautiful relationship.
And that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you are doing very well with Ochi. You're both growing up together. And when does the second born come?
Yeah, so, wow. So through this, I'd like to say there was no birth control in between. There's no day I used like traditional birth control, pills, coil, through it all.
Okay.
And so, of course, somewhere in between here, you get married and now you want to have a child.
Yes.
And the child is not coming. And then you're told you have ovarian cysts. And when you have ovarian cysts, getting pregnant is not easy. Yeah. And time comes and time goes, and you're in your 30s, and then time comes and time goes, and then 40, you hit 40, and then one day you wake up. And I remember the first time I ate peanuts, and my brother was there, and Ochi was there. And then I ate peanuts and I got nauseous, and then I threw up. And then my brother said, "Hey, Ochi, your mom is pregnant." Oh. And I saw the shock on my child's face. It was like, and for the first time it occurred to me that this child will actually be affected by my getting pregnant. And I remember it was a very dark time because I have a friend who died in the Dusit attack. Oh, yeah. And it really affected me. In hindsight, I think the mourning was more hormonal than it was, but he was a very close friend of mine. But I was crying and I was temperamental, and it was like, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot at the time. And Mr. just wakes up one day and says, "You know, I think you're pregnant." I said, "No." And he says, "No, I really do think you're pregnant." I said, "Why would you say something like that?" And he says, "You know, the other day when we had gone to a certain client's place and she told you ABCDXYZ, I think you went off unnecessarily high, and that's so out of character." And then he gave me another example. He said, "Today, when so-and-so told you a certain incident, I feel like you blew the lid off, and that's also out of character." I said, "So my getting angry could be grief. I'm having grief bursts. Okay. You just need to leave me alone and stop insisting I'm pregnant, because if I was pregnant, I'd be the first one to know." And he laid it off. And then a few days later, again, He says, you know, I really do think you're pregnant. I was like, what's this pregnant story?
This is too much.
You know, kama unataka, go and bring pregnancy tests. It's only 50 bob. Go bring pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
So he went to buy the pregnancy test, and I woke up and I went to the bathroom, and I know when you're doing a pregnancy test, you take the first pee. So I said, okay, let me save this pee for when he comes back. And bro went, and then he came back with a newspaper, and I'm there reading the newspaper. I'm like, oh, Agwambo. He said, no, first business first, go pee on the stick. And I went, I had peed, so I took the stick and I put it in the water, and there was 2 lines.
Lo and behold.
I burst out laughing. So he says, what happened? Asked him, how many did you buy? Because we need to do this.
We need to retest.
We need to retest. And we did the second one, and it was 2 lines. And you know, when your child is 21, you're done giving birth. We were planning Santorini. Next year with my sisters, we are going to Santorini. We are looking at Santorini in June. How much, when is it cheaper in the summer? What's the best season for us to go to start doing holidays? And God is just sitting there like,
I'm watching.
Holiday. And just like that, like out of nowhere, you're pregnant again. And yeah.
And this, you are how old?
42.
Yeah,
42. 42. And you don't, I never really saw it coming. So on top of the grief, now there's a child coming, and I don't know if people usually really plan for children, like, or do they just?
Because as for you, you've been planning, you've been trying,
you know,
until it got to that time that you're like, okay, fine, we are.
I'm done trying. Yeah, it's not going to come. It's not going to come, and then
it comes,
and you're not prepared, and you're at a time in your life where you're thinking, I'm done with university. This child is.
Oh, so where is Ochi?
Ochi's 21. Ochi's 21. He's approaching his 3rd year in university. I was done, and then comes a child. And even breaking that news to Ochi was not easy. I don't really remember how I broke it to him, but I think I kind of remember he was taken aback, like,
yeah, like, Mom, yo.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
What were you thinking? Yeah, so having a child at that age, again, was not easy. I feel like the body takes, the first one I was very young.
Yes.
The second one I was way older. And the body takes a certain beating that you don't see coming. So the first, I wouldn't say I was angry, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I wasn't ready for it. Mm-hmm. It's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
when you're not in that space mentally. Yeah.
So how old is Sekani now?
5.
5. If Sekani is 5 years and they can still look at your face and you're like, wait, there's still that pause moment. Yeah. It's totally different.
It's totally different. You know, the first one came with no morning sickness, no headache. I had nothing completely. There was nothing. I don't even think I had cravings. It was smooth sailing.
Yes.
Just the same way we woke up today and we're going through our day. Only difference is that now my stomach is growing and I'm, of course, young.
Yes.
But this second one comes with pressure, comes with cravings. Actually, there was no cravings. Just, some foods were not palatable. I couldn't eat anything with tomatoes. And if somebody's cooking, you're feeling sick. And then I was still grieving my friend's loss. Yeah. And it was just a very difficult time. And I think because of the grief affected my work. So I wasn't showing up for myself. I wasn't showing up to work. And when you're an entrepreneur, you have to consciously wake up and get out and
show up
for yourself and for your business and for your clients. And unfortunately, when you don't do that for some time, it affects your clientele. I think as with every business, you have to keep on putting yourself out there, putting your work out there. You stop, it stops. People forget that you even exist.
Yes.
You just have to keep on marketing. It reached a point, and then it reached a point where I wasn't able to show up for myself at all. And I think that's when a friend of mine, I spoke to her. I'm a certified yapper. I talk a lot.
Okay.
So I spoke to her and I told her the situation, and I told her this is what I'm going through. And she said, you know what? I have somebody. Her name is Shikari. And that's how we met, right?
Oh, that is how now we meet.
And that's how we met. And she said, Shikari has a support group, and I want to enroll you into this group, and you're going to get the kind of support that you would need. Which really did happen, and I thank you for that, because in Mamatoto I found a family. I found people going through the same thing. I would find people saying it's okay to go through this. I went through this, and you'll get through it, because I've gone through my entire life without a pregnancy.
Yes.
Like literally, I was a child, and then now, after 40-year-old.
Yes, yes.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
You want to do you.
You want to do you. You're at that point where you're like, life is finally beginning, and then you go back to, what am I going to do? Am I going to where do I start? Am I going to hospital? Am I going to, And straight off the start, I remember that it was difficult because I found out I was pregnant before we buried my friend. And doctor's advice, friends' advice said, don't go for this burial because it's not going to be good for you. And I remember when I went for the burial, I started bleeding. And my friends who were there said, no, you can't wait until tomorrow. When the body comes, you need to go back to Kisumu.
Yes.
I said, no, I have to bury my friend. And I buried my friend through the bleeding, and I went and saw the doctor. And the doctor says, there's nothing we can do. We just have to wait. Why don't you come and see me in the morning? I go see him in the morning. He's not even serious about seeing me. Oh, he had an emergency. He says, come back later.
So you are pregnant and you are bleeding.
Yes. And the doctor is not committed to... For me, it's an emergency because you bleed even now, and it's not normal. Why is this happening? Am I miscarrying? Is there something wrong? Should I be worried? And the doctor casually says, nah, there's nothing we can do right now. Why don't you come in the morning? And when I went in the morning, he was not there. He had not even alerted his people that I was supposed to come. So did he tell you to come? Have you called him? Why would I call a doctor? And he told me to come at 9. I am here at 9. Oh, please have a seat. Let us call him. And then they say, oh, we can't reach him now because he has an emergency. He's in theater. Am I not an emergency? So I talked to a different friend. Like I share in the group, and they say, okay, if you can't see this doctor, go and see this other doctor. But there's doctors who, I would call them celebrity doctors in Kisumu, where if you ask, I need to see a gynecologist, there'll be 3 names popping up. But this one person told me, go to this doctor. He's an older doctor. He will take better care of you. And so I went and saw the doctor, and immediately he says, why don't you do this? Go get a scan. Okay. Let's see where we are with the bleeding and all that. So straight off the bat, this child came with...
like a special announcement. I am here.
And I'm on my way.
Yes.
So straight off the bat, it was we are in hospital, you're on bed rest, and now you're on bed rest and you're an entrepreneur. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more of like a high risk.
Yeah.
Yes. So That's the first trimester that is showing you things.
Yes.
How will be the second and third now before second is here? As dramatic?
Not really. Not really.
It will calm down.
It'll be controlled.
Okay.
Okay. So lucky for me, very lucky for me, and I thank God for my sisters. They're in the US. They say, why don't you get a visa and come? So this is me tying my stomach and trying not to look pregnant, going to the American embassy. And I get to the embassy and get to the US. And in the US, once you're 35, it's a high-risk pregnancy.
Yeah.
They don't play. They don't play. You're 35. You're going to see a doctor. You're going to see a perinatologist. Something I didn't even know. I was like, who?
Yes.
Perinatologist. You're seeing a perinatologist. They do all the tests. They will do genetic testing. They tell you the situation as it is. You're going for scans. They drew blood until I was like, it's like they took 1 liter or 2 liters of blood. Why are they taking so much blood? They are with you up to the minute.
Oh.
You're doing, and a system which I found was pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You go and see your doctor, and then they give you a caseworker. And this caseworker is one who books for you everything.
Oh.
I have gone to the hospital and she carries my caseworker. The doctor says, I need you to do a 3D scan. I need you to do blood tests. I need you to go and do an ultrasound. I need you to do the genetic testing.
Yes.
It's Shikari who's booking the ultrasound. Wednesday, she's booking the testing. They want to see, the child's heart. They're testing even the child. They're doing ECGs and doing all these things. And it's Shikari who is booking the tests and following up the results. Your work is just to show up at the hospital. So the minute anything is amiss, I am having a headache. And lucky for me, I went to see the perinatologist. A perinatologist is a specialist in the
fetus.
like he deals with high risk pregnancies.
Yes.
So my teeth were coming out. I lost teeth. I think many people do lose teeth
during pregnancy, and you hear the dentist will say we don't touch teeth when
you're pregnant.
Yes.
So I lost 3 teeth, and they don't just fall out; it's peeling off. Like acrylic nails.
Yes.
It's just
peeling.
It just peels off.
Yes.
Right? Like it becomes like dried glue. So it just peeled off. And then I was having a very weird headache. And there's a day my hand was shaking, and we took a video. So when we went to see the perinatologist, very calm guy. He was in biking gear, sitting, swinging on his chair, chewing his gum. He's like, is there anything else? I said, yeah, my teeth are peeling. And he said, your teeth? I said, yeah, my teeth I have one tooth has fallen off and one is just peeled off. And he said, is there anything else? I said, yeah, I have this weird headache, but it's not something that I would write home about. And he said, what's her pressure? And I remember very vividly, my pressure was, I think, 120/86.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, your pressure is high. I said, no, it's not high. He said, your pressure is high. And I'm putting on pressure medicine, and I need you to take that pressure medicine every single day. I was so confused. Because why would he put me on pressure medicine? So, of course, after seeing him, the report is sent back to my doctor.
Yes.
And I tried to ask him, he's like, trust me when I tell you your pressure is high. But you see, we know that 120/80 is perfect. So every day when I'm taking my pressure, it's 120/80, it's perfect. So then when we go back to my doctor, he also doesn't understand. Why are you being put on, the caseworker is one who couldn't understand why I've been put on pressure medicine and my pressure seems perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So when I asked the doctor, he says he probably looked at the baseline. Baseline meaning since you got pregnant, what has been your pressure?
Yes.
And you see, when I got pregnant, my pressure went down. So all this time, my pressure has been, I think it was over 65, 66.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it has gone up to over 80, something which somebody else would not really pick up. And for me, I think it's just that intricate care,
Yes.
Should this happen? And they educate you every time you go. They say, if the baby's not moving, take orange juice. If this is not happening, Every time you go for clinic, there's somebody sitting with you and talking to you for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Is there anything, any concern? Is there any, if this happens, call emergency care, take yourself to the emergency room. If this is happening, if you feel this is happening, go to the hospital. First thing, tell them you're pregnant. Tell them this is what is happening. If you've gone for a procedure, tell them I went for a blood test. So every, like, it's almost up to the minute screening. They know what is happening at every single point. If you have a problem, call the caseworker.
Yes.
Caseworker is following up your appointments. You don't have to worry about, let me call, I need to go for an ultrasound, I need to run around. So the second and third trimester were a breeze because of that.
Yeah. That is really special care. Yeah. And I am just wondering, when will we ever get there, where each pregnancy is taken as it is, like it's unique with its own uniqueness, and not just generalizing pregnancy and pregnant mothers. But you are lucky. You are very lucky.
I was. They even arranged dental.
Okay, to see you, like,
they even send you to a dentist.
Yes.
It's like an all-round
so like when you get pregnant, you take a holistic
princess
care. That is nice. So, Sekani is born. You're bringing Sekani home, and there is Ochi. Tell us how you are relating. Now you're pregnant. How is the communication? Is Ochi excited? Is he concerned? Is he asking when is baby coming?
Actually, I remember one time I was speaking to him and he was like, Mom, now I'm the parent. And that time I think I was still pregnant. And I was like, what do you mean you're the parent? He said, but Mom, by the time this child is finishing high school, it's me who has to take care of him. I had mixed feelings because why would you think my child is yours? One. Number two, why I do not want to be that parent who has children for these other children to take care of. Inadvertently, it has happened in our generation, but I don't think it should be his headache that, oh, now mommy has a child, now it's me who's supposed to take care of this child. I really didn't want that happening. But when I came in with the child, it was love at first sight. I think there's that, I've always been an only child, and then now there's another child.
Yes.
Right? They cope, they love each other. But again, Ochi was already out of the nest. He was already university, staying on his own in Nairobi, going to school, trying to find his own means, and pretty much independent. So yes, he sees him. Yes, they love each other. They talk on the phone. He'll be like, every day, every second day, they're calling, talking to each other, comparing notes. But that's just as far as it goes. When there's holidays, they spend time together. He's constantly, like, that's his child. Literally. That's his child. The little boy listens to him, adores him, but that's just as far as it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, the parenting styles are very different.
I really wanted to go there. The parenting styles.
These are two totally different children. The first one was very mute, very calm, very obedient. This second one is Yokozuna. He'll be jumping on the chair and you tell him, stop jumping on the chair. Why? Oh. Why?
Yes.
Because I said so. Why? Why are you saying so? In our time, you could not ask why. But now he's asking why. And these children are so delicate, you can slap that child to the grave. They're not the same children who we used to.
It's not Ochi.
Beat black and blue. No. He's not Ochi. And Ochi didn't even need beating.
Oh, yeah.
So I at one point I was like, am I beating him too much? Is he becoming too hard because of beating? Because this child will test your patience and test your limits. And when you say no, he wants to know, why are you saying no? Why? Why, Mommy?
That is the alpha generation.
And I tell him no is a complete answer. So yesterday, I asked him, can you take your plate to the kitchen? He said no. I asked him why. He said, Mommy, no is a complete answer. And that is the child I am bringing
They
up
are
now.
copy pasting.
Yes.
So we have to be better. We have to learn and unlearn. And I wonder how you are able to unlearn the parenting styles then and here. How are you able to tone yourself down and calmly and still don't lose focus on discipline?
Discipline is not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy because sometimes I feel like I'm being lenient, and sometimes I feel like I'm being too harsh. I second guess myself a lot.
Okay.
I second guess myself a lot, and this is a different child in a different generation. Like I said, they ask the whys and why not, and why can't I do this? And growing up, for me, was more or less the same take or give time when Ochi grew up.
Yes.
So we were not brought up asking why, mommy. If you're told go take a shower, you're on your way.
Yes.
In fact, you're not even being told take a shower. You see them looking outside, they look at the time and hey, that means it's time for me to go and take a shower. But this is a child who you tell take a shower and he says, I need 5 more minutes. For what? I'm finishing up
what I'm doing.
Yes. And being again in our generation at this time, children are very delicate, because when he says give me 5 more minutes, you're being told give him 5 minutes. Like, why not give him 5 minutes?
Is it too much to ask?
Is it too much to ask for 5 more minutes? I need to go out and play. No, you can't go out and play. Why? Because it's cold. But I can put on a sweater, mommy. Yep, because sweater is supposed to keep you warm, right? But again, no. Why? No is a complete answer, which doesn't make sense. I need you to sit down and write. He says, no, I'm not writing now. I'm going to write later when I'm a bit calm, because he knows calm and he knows now he's jumping and it's time for me to jump, and allow me please to jump. Which becomes very tricky when I go to visit my mom, because my mom puts a stick in the chair.
Yes.
Who are you talking to?
Yes.
Who are you telling?
What have I said?
Yeah, what have I said? You know? And then it becomes tricky because you're lenient and your mom is strict. And my sisters are strict too. They'd be like, what did we say? They have ways of punishing, because they're in the US, they know how to punish without beating. And me, please, my hand is very swift. I'll be spanking very fast. Talk upper, spanking.
Yes.
You know? Don't do that. Take away privileges. Hey, but now what privilege? You know?
Yeah. And that makes me want to ask, how are you able to emotionally be there for these two wild generations?
Again, now that's where I'm struggling, because a few days back, my sister pointed out, she said, you know, I feel like you post Sekani more than you post Uchi. And the first thing you want to be like, no, you know, but I'm with Sekani all the time. But then again, you're like,
wait.
Yes.
Kuna ka ukweli.
Kuna ka ukweli. But again, this Ochi is a very private child. You know? He will take silhouettes. He will take pictures of him facing the sunset, and then you're seeing his back.
Yes.
He will take pictures of his hat, and you will not see his face. So, and he's in that generation where some of them want privacy. He's been very quiet, so you don't know, does he want the privacy? Does he want to be posted? Does he not want to be posted? When you post him, he gets very happy, but then now what am I posting? I don't have your pictures. There are silhouettes, and even these silhouettes, they're like only 5 in my phone, right? But again, like I said, this one was brought up by the community.
By the community.
By the village. He's a village child, right? My village. And this other one, it is me and you. Sometimes I feel like I made a few mistakes, because when a child is being brought up by the village has a say.
You're so right. You are so very right.
The village has a say.
Yes.
Shikari has helped him get into university, and he's taking this course, and you want him to take this course, but Shikari feels no. Why can't he just go and do A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z?
Yes.
And what Shikari is saying is making sense. So we sit down and convince this child that what Shikari is saying is making sense, because we are winging it, you know. I'm growing up and I'm bringing you up at the same time. I have no clue what I'm doing. I thank God he turned out well, but you literally have no clue. And we should extend grace to people who have children when they're young, because they literally have no clue. Actually, I don't think there's any parent who has a clue. That's my personal thinking. Even our parents, it's the first time they were bringing us up. They didn't bring up children in the past life. Everybody is learning as they go. But when you're younger, it's worse. So I feel like there's sometimes I made mistakes. I let people make decisions. I wasn't very and say, no, this is my child and this is what I'm going to do. Or this is my child and let him choose what he wants to do. Oh, why don't you move to this place? Okay. Why don't you do that? Okay, because you're a child. You're also being told what to do. Like I said, there's a higher authority.
Yes.
But with Sekani now, I am the authority.
You are.
Yeah?
Yes.
I am the authority. I can decide. Bone of contention right now, for example, the school where he's going. They're adding school fees 3,000 every term, which is difficult because life lately.
You can't even plan.
Life lately, yes. I am struggling to keep you in this school because I think this school is really good for you. But why are we going from 34 to 38, from 38 to 41, from 41 to 43, and now we're going to 48, 45? You know, we are like literally every time going up by 3,000 shillings. So somebody comes and says, no, I don't think you should take him to that school because it's expensive. Which, in retrospect, and that's something I've really thought about over the past 2 weeks, if it was my first child, I probably would have been like, yeah, by the way.
By the way, it is expensive.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe. You're right. Let's move.
Right.
But with this second child, who have I asked for school fees? And that realization has just recently dawned on me. Who have I asked for school fees? Like, I can struggle and be like, wait, Shikari, Bana, I don't have food.
Yes.
You know, just give me 200 shillings. I need to buy omena, you know. With rent, I'll be like, hey, I've not made rent. Nijazie 5,000. Let me pay up my rent. But who have I told I can't pay the school fees? You know.
You have stamped the authority already.
With the previous child, again, being brought up by the village because of my young age, when they decide, you know, I don't think he should be in Nairobi over the holidays. Why don't you just send him to this place or on the holidays, or you should send him here so that you also catch a break? And I'm like, yeah, actually. But now, in my latter years, well, right now, with the younger one, I'm like, why am I sending him away?
You don't want to miss a moment.
Yeah. I have somebody who's helping me take care of you. And if I'm sending you, I'm sending both of you. I'm not sending my child alone. Right? And if I'm sending my child to go on holiday, it's on my terms.
Yes.
I'm not going to go with the flow. Everybody's children going to Mombasa, and now, when my heart is at peace with it, and that is, I think, the main difference between bringing up Ochi and bringing up the Sekani, is that right now I am older, I am wiser, I can make decisions based on me, which I think comes with age more than experience, because at this particular point in life, I make decisions for me. I can decide this friend is no longer serving me.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And even if an idea, do I really need that help? Or can I make it on my own? And now I'm making more intentional decisions with this child.
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even when I say no, I know where my no is coming from.
Yes.
A few days back, and I think you saw that, I let him play in the rain. And that, I put it up on my WhatsApp status, and it elicited different reactions. Because there are people who believe that he'll get malaria playing in the rain,
Oh.
I was taught malaria comes from female Anopheles mosquito. I was very rude. I said, I was taught malaria comes from the female Anopheles mosquito.
You are there. You are very present.
Somebody else comes and says, then tomorrow you're going to come and tell us this child has pneumonia. I said, God forbid.
God forbid.
May that pneumonia not catch my child.
Yes, and he has had pneumonia before. Did he play in the water?
It wasn't playing in the rain. Atakama ni homa. See, you've had homa before. Did it come from playing in the rain? This child will be a child just once.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And in the evening before he went to bed, he said, thank you, Mommy. Today was the best day of my life. Okay, he has a lot of best days. But for that particular moment, it counted because he played in the rain. And you even catch him in the video saying, Mommy, don't come out. It's dangerous. You're outside playing in the rain, but for me, it's going to be dangerous, But I think, again, comparing to the previous child, the adults would have said, asicheze kwa mvua. And then I'd be like, wait.
And you'll be called, you'll be asked, why is the baby outside? Yes,
because the higher authority is still able to,
with a lot of love,
they're still able to restrict me.
To restrict you.
Where you're not, I'm telling you not to let that child play in the rain, and you're letting him play in the rain. Yes. When he gets sick, who is going to take care of this child?
It's the authority.
Because I am still a child also. I am still being taken care of.
Yes.
But right now, God forbid, should anything happen to this child playing in the rain, whose responsibility is it? I still have my village.
Yes.
I will not refuse.
Oh, yes.
I still have my community. I still have the people who help me take care. I will run into, I don't have a house help, and I will call a friend and say, yo, please step in. I still have people around. I still have people who will, we were in hospital the other day, and my cousin just dropped her entire household, traveled to Nairobi with a little tiny baby, and came and stayed with me for 3 weeks. I did not ask her, I did not pay. She just dropped everything and came.
That's the community.
That is the community. That's the people who are raising up these children. And I think we still need this community. There's a lot of people who will tell you, I do not want my child to be. I allow my child to be raised by the community. I allow people to correct the child.
Oh, yes.
I allow people to check my child. Because I, again, do not want to have a child. I'm still winging it. I'm not saying that I have the formula now. I still am winging it.
Every day is a learning
Every day is a learning experience. I usually say, I told my siblings, let's extend Mom grace, because even her, she's parenting for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't have experience before this.
Yes.
She's doing this for the first time. This is the first time she has children in their 40s. She has children in their 30s. This is the first time she's going through this. So I will allow people to correct me, don't get me wrong, but I will allow my child to be a child within my constraints.
Yeah.
I'll take you back to the very first question, and I think now it's clearer for me answering this, that yes, that is the difference. That is the main difference.
Yes.
The first one was a child being raised by a child still under authority.
Yes.
This one now I'm raising by myself.
I love that.
Yeah. I can make decisions. Raising Uchi, you will get cereal when I started working. And if they say cereal is for breakfast, it's for breakfast. And you will not break that rule in your mother's house.
Yes.
That cereal is going to be for breakfast. But you see now with Sekani, if he takes his cereal in the morning and he eats his lunch and finishes and says, Mommy, please may I have
cereal?
Cereal. Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Well, like, does it affect his character? Does it affect his appetite? He just had his lunch. What difference does it make if he has his cereal now? And I learned that from my younger sister, because sometimes at night he'll be like, no, I just want cereal and I want milk and I want eggs. And my sister is like, let him have breakfast for supper. Having breakfast for supper is fun. Let him do it,
Let him do it.
So even the parenting style, I think, over time has changed. There's a lot of external influence. You're learning a lot of things from people outside. I'm seeing Chikari raising her son, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, she lets him do this. And he's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Well, if I let him do this, will he be fine?
Will he be fine?
If we teach them this, maybe they'll get this kind of exposure. You want an all-rounded child.
Beautiful. That's it.
Nowadays, we don't have, again, when I was bringing up Uchi, he could leave at 9 in the morning and come back at 1. And you'll not be worried, where did that child go?
Yeah.
Because there are 50, 60 children hapo kwa estate playing. But nowadays, they'll be going to play in people's houses. They're going to play games in people's houses. They're going to play on their tablets, on their iPads, in people's houses. But you know, before we were outside.
We were outside.
If you needed the child, unatoka tu nje.
And you shout!
Esther! Ako wapi wewe, Esther? Ako ile field hidden. People will run. Ebu muite, you know? Even if you're going to people's houses, you're very scared.
You are, yeah.
You will enter the house and sit next to the couch, you know, because you don't want to step on the seats, you don't want to make it dirty. But bringing up this child now, you have to be aware. You're conscious. You're conscious to the fact that he's gone out to play, but he's probably in somebody's house. He has gone out to play. He's probably in somebody's living room. Are they allowed to sit in the living room or in the bedroom? He's gone out to play on someone's tablet. Is that tablet regulated?
Yes. Is it regulated? Now, that is quite a lot. And I love the fact that you have allowed yourself to keep learning and unlearn. And yes, you appreciate there is this community, there is this everybody who is in my child's life or my children's life. Thank you so much. But I want to be the authority, you know. So it's such a special thing that I want it to come from you in conclusion. Because I in this story, I see Esther raising Ochi. I see Esther raising Sekani. And where do you see Esther in the next 10 years, in a nutshell?
Life has taught me. Huh? Life has taught me. See, I told you I was planning Santorini.
Yes. And then pregnancy happens.
So, in the Bible, in the book of James, it says, do not boast and say, I'm going to go to this town and I'm going to do this. We say, God willing.
God willing.
God willing, we're going to get there. So for me, I would say, God willing.
God willing.
We move into the next chapter. I am one person who takes a day at a time.
Okay.
Let's see what tomorrow holds.
Beautiful.
You, as a human being, you can plan. But if God hasn't willed for you, you know, today I'll be here, and one thing that you probably already know is that I am like a cat. I fall and I bounce back.
Okay.
I don't fall on my back. Today I'll be doing chicken farming. If it falls, tomorrow you'll find me making windows.
That is for you.
Yeah, one day you find me making sofa sets, you know, and from sofa sets I'll be doing curtains, and I allow myself to evolve. I don't think I want to put myself in a box and say 10 years from now I'm going to be the best designer in East and Central Africa. Because who knows, I could be the best designer in the world. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I do not want to put myself in a box, but I pray for God's grace. I pray for abundance.
Yes.
I pray for wisdom every day. Then just give me the wisdom to know how to handle this. And yeah, basically.
Wow.
That's it.
That has been amazing. Thank you so much, Esther. And you are doing a great job. The fact that you've allowed yourself to keep learning, you know, it's literally you are on the move and you are learning from a 5-year-old, you know. It's such an honor that you're doing to yourself and letting yourself be.
Ochi also gives me
the special grace.
Yeah, I'm seeing him learning. I am seeing him picking a few things from me. He has grown up in such a fine young gentleman, very focused. He knows what he wants. He knows where he's going. I think if you asked him where he'll be 10 years from now, he has that answer.
Wow.
He's not like his mom who's still winging it,
yes,
still taking a day at a time. He is very focused. He knows what he wants. how he wants it, where he wants it. Right now, he's in the coast. We have tried to remove him from there 3 times. Boy still keeps going back. And one thing he has learned, he's evolving. Today, he goes and his mind is set. I want to go and work for Shikari. And then he tries, and then it doesn't work. And then he goes back. He says, okay, fine. If I can't work for Shikari, let me work for Shikari's sister. You know, and that doesn't work. And he's evolving. He's learning. I see him branching out and getting to bigger things. And there are generations that thinks. They're not closed-minded like us. He will look and he will see opportunities and he'll tell you, Mommy, you know, I saw this glass and I'm thinking if I take this glass and turn it upside down, it becomes something pretty amazing. And I'm really proud of him for that, for being able to reinvent himself and to keep going. A lot of youth now are not able to keep going. Oh. They see the darker side of things and think, oh, poor me. But he doesn't have that. He keeps on telling me, Mom, giving up is not an option. We just keep going. We keep taking the next step.
I already love it.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is Esther's story. She has allowed herself to be very vulnerable, which gives me a lot of grace to do and to keep doing what I am doing in the Mamatoto Lounge. So, do you want to sit on this chair next time here at Premier's Hotel? Please be our guest. Thank you so much.